Good morning, student. I'm Manju Suppa from Kanakinam Smart Education, and today I'm going to teach you mathematics of third class, and the topic is numbers up to 1000. In this chapter, we are going to learn about ascending and descending order, odd and even numbers, rounding of numbers. Now we are going to learn about ascending and descending order. When numbers are arranged in smallest to the greatest. When numbers are arranged from smallest to the greatest, they are said to be in ascending order. See, ascending means when the numbers are arranged from smallest to the greatest. That time they are said to be in ascending order. See, when the numbers are arranged from smallest to the greatest. When the numbers are arranged from smallest to the greatest, that time they are said to be in ascending order. When numbers are arranged from smallest to the greatest, that time the numbers are said to be they are in ascending order. Okay, see I had arranged the numbers 8745, 5214, 5252, 4521 in ascending order. At first I make a place value chart, and after making place value chart I put all this number in place value chart. See, after comparing the number in 1000 place, I see that 8000 is more than all of the numbers, so I place 8745 in greatest number. So see, I arrange the number in smallest to the greatest. The smallest number is 4521. The smallest number is 4521, and after 4521 the smallest one is 5214, and after 5214 there comes the smallest number is 5252, and the greatest one is 8745. Right? See, I arrange these four numbers in ascending order. See, the smallest one is 4521. After 4521 there comes the smallest one is 5214. After 5214 there comes 5252, and the greatest number is 8745. Okay, student, now this time is for question time. So arrange the number in ascending order. So you have to arrange the number in ascending order by yourself. So I'll give you 4 minutes to copy this question. Please, dear student, copy this question as fast as possible. Okay student, I hope you all have copied this question from the screen and hope so you will do by your own. Okay student. Okay, now we are going to learn about descending order. When numbers are arranged from the greatest to the smallest, they are said to be in descending order. That means when the numbers are arranged from greatest to the smallest, they are said to be in descending order. Descending order means simple. When the numbers are arranged from greatest number to the smallest number, that time they are said to be in descending order. First you have to write the greatest one, and after writing greatest number, then you have to write smallest. So when you write the numbers from greatest to the smallest, that time the number are said to be in descending order. Okay student, descending order means when numbers are arranged from greatest to the smallest. Simple, when the numbers are arranged from greatest to the smallest, that time it is said to be in descending order form. Okay, for example, I do one example for you. See, I arrange the number 2139, 2910, 2456, 2775. I arrange this number in descending order form. See, first I make a place value chart. After making place value chart, I place all the numbers in place value chart. So I can decide, or I can compare the numbers, which number is greater or which number is smaller. So after observing in 10,000 position, I realized that all the numbers have same digit in 1000 place. So I observe in 100 place, where I see all the digits are different. So from that four digits, I see that 9 is greatest. So first I write 2910. After 9 there comes 7, so I write 2775, and after that 4, and I write 2456. After that comes the smallest number, which is 2139. See, I arrange this number from greatest to the smallest. See, 2910 is greatest number. After this, 2775 is second greatest, and third greatest after 2775 is 2456, and the smallest one is 2139. 2139. I arrange this number from greatest to the smallest to form a descending order. Okay, that means the numbers are in descending order form. Okay student, after learning descending order, or after knowing how to arrange the number in descending order, so this time is your question time. Okay, so arrange the number in descending order. You have to arrange the following number which are given in the screen. You have to arrange this number in descending order by your own. So I'll give you 4 minutes or 3 minutes to copy this question. Please copy this question as soon as possible. Okay, student, I hope you all have copied this question from the screen. So hope so you will do by your own. Now we are going to see one video clip of ascending order and descending order.
What is the meaning of ascending? Look at these numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ascending orders means from the smallest to the greatest. Again, what is the meaning of ascending order? From the smallest to the greatest. Let's see our first example. Arrange each of the following numbers in an ascending order. Ascending order. What is the meaning of ascending? From the smallest to the greatest. Look at these numbers. We have 7, 2, 6, and 1. What is the smallest number here? 1. Excellent. So write 1. What's after 1? I want the smallest number. 2. Excellent. And then 6. What is the last number? Yes, 7. Let's see the next example. Arrange also in ascending order. Don't forget, what is the meaning of ascending order? From the smallest to the greatest. Look at these numbers, 9, 0, 8, and 2. What is the smallest number here? Of course, 0. What is the next number? 2. Then 8, and the last number is 9. Look at this, descending order, descending order. Look at this picture. Look at these numbers, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what is the meaning of descending order? From the greatest to the smallest. Again, what is the meaning of descending order? From the greatest to the smallest. Let's see our example. Arrange each of the following numbers in an descending order. Again, descending order. What is the meaning of descending? From the greatest to the smallest. Look at these numbers. We have 3, 5, 7, 4. I want to start from the biggest number, the greatest number. What is the greatest number here? Yes, 7. What's after 7? 5. Yes. What's after 5? 4. Excellent. And the last number is 3. Look at this. Complete. Look at these numbers 5, 0, 2, and 9. Here I want the greatest number. The greatest number. What is the greatest number here? 5 or 0 or 2 or 9? Yes, 9. 9 is the greatest number. And here I want the smallest number. The smallest number. What is the smallest number here? Yes, 0. And the last example, complete, then arrange. Look at these numbers, 4, 2, 7, and 0. Here I want the greatest number. What is the greatest number here? Yes, 7. What is the smallest number? The smallest number? Yes, 0. The ascending order is, what is the meaning of ascending order? From the smallest to the greatest. So I want the smallest number. What is the smallest number? 0. What's after 0? 2. What's after 2? 4. Yes. And the last number is 7. The descending order is, what is the meaning of descending? From the greatest to the smallest. What is the greatest number here? Yes, 7. What's after 7? 4. What's after 4? 2. And the last number is 0.
Even numbers are that numbers which make perfect pair of 2, or the numbers that can be divided into two groups are called even number. Okay, even number is the number that makes perfect pair of 2, perfect pair of 2, or the number that can be divided into two groups. For example, if you have 4 chocolate and you have to share your chocolate with your sister or brother, how many you will give to your brother? You have to share that chocolate equally. Obviously you will give 2 and give 2 with you, right? So it means 4 is an example of even number, because 4 can be formed, or it can form perfect pair of 2, right? So 4 is an example of even number. Like this, the example of even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, and so on. In biggest number or greatest number, like having many digits in it, like this number, you can simply check it is even or odd by checking the digits at one's place. Even number, the even numbers have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 in its one's place. Always the even number have 0, 2, 6, 4. Okay dear student, now this is question time. So please copy the question from the screen. I'll give you 3 minutes to copy this question. Now we are going to learn about odd numbers. Numbers that cannot be put into pair are called odd number, or the number that cannot be divided into two groups are called even number. Numbers that cannot be divided into two groups, or the number that cannot form perfect pair of two, is called odd number. For example, suppose if you have 3 chocolates and you have to share your chocolate equally with your brothers. So can you share your chocolate with your brothers equally? Like, instead of 3 chocolate, if you have 4 chocolate, you can share with your chocolate with your brothers equally, right? But instead of 4 there is 3, so 3 is an example of odd number. The number that cannot put into pair, or that cannot form perfect pair of 2 is called odd number. And the example of odd number is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and so on. If the digits of a number have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 in one's place, that means the number is odd number. If the number have 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9 in its one's place, that means it indicates that the number is odd number. Okay student, now this is question time. I'll give you 3 minutes to copy this question from the screen, and you have to solve this question by your own. Now we are going to see one video clip of even and odd numbers together, okay?
Odd number. So what's going on? Why is this even a thing? We're gonna talk about it. Even and odd is actually pretty easy, but it's just a matter of knowing what to look for. So we're gonna be like detectives together, okay? You're gonna have an eagle eye. To help us out on our quest, we're gonna use dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are awesome. Here's a red dinosaur that's, I don't know why it's windy. There's wind going on, and I don't know let's change the scenery. Let's make it more modern day. There you go. Look at that, just walking through the neighborhood, strolling. He's ready to help us discover the secret, right, to knowing even and odd. So what is this key that we're looking for? What are we looking for that will tell us if a number is even or if the number is odd? An even number can be grouped by 2. An odd number cannot be evenly grouped by 2. So it's all about the number 2, and that might sound confusing. Let me show you and you'll see. Here is the easiest number to do. We're looking for the number 2, okay? Can it be put in a group of 2? Well, yes, because it's the number 2. We've got 2 dinosaurs. That makes 2 even. Now this is odd. This dinosaur's all alone. He's not in a group of 2. This makes the number 1 an odd number because he's all alone. That's odd. It's an odd number. Let's look back at the number 2. See, what's neat about this is it's an even group of 2. That means our dinosaur has a friend. He can talk to his friend. He can hang out. It's not weird. It's not odd. It's an even number. Here we have 3 dinosaurs. Now, can we put the number 3 in even groups of 2? Well, no, because that third dinosaur is all alone. The top 2 dinosaurs have somebody. 3 is odd. There's one that's missing a partner. Here we have 4 dinosaurs. Now we're looking for groups of the number 2. Now we have 2 groups of 2 here. That means it's an even number. Each dinosaur has a friend. Wow, 5 dinosaurs. But look, one on the bottom doesn't have a pal, doesn't have a friend. That's odd. It's not evenly grouped into 2. 5 is an odd number. Hey, buddy, okay, don't run. Okay, we'll get back to the even numbers. I know you don't like the odds. You don't like being the odd dinosaur out. It's okay. I promise this next number is going to be even because it goes for even, odd, even, odd. Just hang on. A dog wouldn't have done that, you know? Dogs are better. I think now the dinosaurs, you know? I'm just kidding. Dinosaurs are so cool. Moving on. Here we have 6 dinosaurs. Now, each dinosaur has a friend. That means 6 is even. You can split it up in groups of 2. Oh, here we have 7 dinosaurs, but there's one dinosaur that's all alone. 6 of them have friends, but one is all alone, doesn't have a pair. 7 is odd. The number 8. Does everyone have a friend? Yes! There's no one without a friend. Number 8 is an even number. It splits up into 2 very nicely. 8 is even. Let's go even higher. The number 9. Now you can see really quick. It's easy to spot. Is 9 even or odd? Yes, it's odd. There's one who doesn't have a friend. 9 is odd. Oh my goodness, 10. 10, is it even or is it odd? You tell me. You know how to do it now. You know the trick. Yes, 10 is even. Everybody has a friend. Now we're about to teach you 2 sneaky tricks that you can use with even and odd numbers, okay? So seriously, it's not really sneaky, but anyway. So this first trick is that all of the numbers alternate from odd to even and back. And we're going to show you what that means and what that looks like. Here we have the first 10 numbers, numbers 1 through 10. And the trick was all of the numbers alternate from odd to even and back. Do you remember if number 1 is odd or even? Yes, number 1 is odd, because remember, number 1's all by himself, doesn't have a friend, doesn't have a partner. It's not an even number. Number 1 is odd. Now, we remember number 2, right? Number 2 is even. Yes, because it can be grouped in 2, because it is 2. Now, if they alternate, that means which one is number 3? It's odd. This is where it gets fun. If 3 is odd, then that means 4 is even. Good job. And if 4 is even, that means 5 must be odd. Yeah. And if 5 is odd, that means 6 must be, you guessed it, even. And if 6 is even, that means 7 must be odd. Yes, 7 is odd. If 7 is odd, that means 8 is, come on, what's the pattern? 8 is even. And if 8 is even, that means 9 must be odd. And if 9 is odd, come on, is this not just the most fun trick ever? If 9 is odd, that means 10 is even. They all alternate. So the first trick is that they alternate. The numbers alternate. Odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. Now, we're going to look at the second trick. The second trick is that with numbers bigger than 10, if it's odd or even, you can see on the end. With numbers bigger than 10, if it's odd or even, you can see on the end. To demonstrate, let's play. As you can see, 10 on the bottom ends in 0 and it's even. Every single number that ends in a 0 is even, just like every number that ends in a 1 is odd. Every number that ends in a 2 is even. Every number that ends in a 3 is odd, because 3 is odd. Every number that ends in a 4 is even. And it goes on and on. Numbers that end in 5 are odd. Numbers that end in 6 are even. Numbers that end in 7 are odd. Numbers that end in 8 are even. Numbers that end in 9 are odd. And then numbers like 10 that end in 0 are always even. So there you go. Odd and even. As long as you learn these, you'll know any number because the endings always tell you if it's odd or even. So once you know these, you'll know all of them. Well,
now we are going to learn about rounding of numbers. To make calculation easier and faster, we round up the numbers. To make calculation easier and faster, we round up the numbers. Rounding of numbers makes them simpler and easier to use, although they are slightly less accurate. But their values are still close to what the original value were. Rounding of numbers make them simpler and easier to use, although they are less accurate or slightly less accurate. Their values are still close to what they original value were. For example, if Rahul will reach his home in 10 minutes, though it may take only 8 minutes to reach home, the rounded off value is not the actual value, but the approximate value. There is two types of rounding of numbers. The first one is rounding of numbers nearest to 10. Nearest to 10. To round off a number to the nearest to 10, look at the ones digit. First you have to look at the ones digit if you want to round up the numbers to the nearest to tens. And if the digit at the ones place, is 4 or less than 4, if the digit at the ones place is 4 or less than 4, round off the ones digit to 0. Round up the ones digit to 0 and keep the digit in tens place unchanged. Okay, to round up the numbers to the nearest to 10, first look at the ones digit. If the digit at the ones place is 4 or less than 4, if the digit at the ones place is 4 or less than 4, if the digit at ones place is 4 or less than 4, round off the ones digit to 0. Round up the ones digit to 0 and keep the digit in tens place unchanged. Okay, dear student. Now, for example, rounding off 44 to the nearest to 10. What I said, that you have to look at the ones place first. See, ones place is 4. That means if the digit at the ones place is 4 or less than 4, then you have to round off the ones digit to 0. That means 0, and you have to keep the tens place unchanged. That means you have to change ones digit into 0 and you have to keep the digit at the tens place unchanged. That means the rounding of rounded 44 is rounded off to 40 because its 44 have its 4 in its ones place, so you have to round it up the ones place into to the 0 if the number is less than 4 or equals to 4. Okay. Okay, now if you are rounding up the numbers and you find that the digit in a ones place is between 5 and 5 to 9. If the digit at the ones place in a number is between 5 to 10, while rounding up the numbers nearest to 10, if you find the digit at the ones place is the number between 5 to 9, then ones digits to 10. Then round up the ones digits to 10. If the digit in a number at ones place is between 5 to 10, while rounding up the numbers to nearest to 10 is, you found that the number at the ones place is 5 to 9, then round off the ones digits to 10, and add 1 to the tens digit and add ones to the tens digit. If the digit at the ones place in a number is between 5 to 9, then round up the ones digit to 10 and add 1 to the tens digit. For example, round out 57 to the nearest to 10. If you add round up numbers 57 to the nearest to 10, see, look at the ones place in the number 57, you will find there is 7. That means the number is from or between 5 to 9. That means you have to add 1 to tens place and you have to round off the ones digit to 10 and you have to add ones to the tens digit, right? So ones digit in case of 57 is greater than 5, so it is rounded up to 60. Okay student, after knowing rounded off numbers nearest to 10, okay, now this is for question time. So I'll give you 2 minutes to copy these questions from the screen, so do fast. Now we will see one video clip of rounding off numbers nearest to tens.
We use rounding when we want to estimate. Rounding gives us numbers that are easy to use, like 10, 20, 30, and so on. Rounded numbers help you solve everyday problems where you don't need an exact answer. That's called an estimate. Rounding might look hard, but hey, guess what? If you know how to put numbers in order and can skip count by tens, you can learn to round any number to the nearest 10 with ease. Here are some useful things to know. You can show any number on a number line. Numbers to the right have a greater value than numbers to the left. Every number that ends in the digits 1 through 9 sits between two tens. The nearest 10 on either side of your number is a useful benchmark. And the midpoint is the number that is halfway between the two benchmarks. If the number you want to round is less than the midpoint, round down. If the number you are rounding is at the midpoint or greater than the midpoint, round up. You can round any number in 4 easy steps. Let's see how. Let's round 27 to the nearest 10. Step 1. Figure out what benchmarks to use. Between which two tens does 27 belong? 20 is the lower benchmark and 30 is the higher benchmark. Step 2. Find the midpoint between your benchmarks. That's the number that is exactly in the middle. The midpoint between 20 and 30 is 25. Step 3. Now locate 27 on the number line. You can see that 27 is more than 25. So now you're ready for step 4. You can round. 27 is closer to 30 than to 20. So, to the nearest 10, 27 rounds up to 30. Sometimes the nearest 10 is 0. Let's round 4 to the nearest 10. The benchmarks are 0 and 10. The midpoint is 5. 4 is less than 5, so to the nearest 10, 4 rounds down to 0. And sometimes the nearest 10 is 100. Look at 96. The benchmarks are 90 and 100. The midpoint is 95. 96 is greater than 95. So, to the nearest 10, 96 rounds up to 100.
Now we are going to learn about the another types of rounding of numbers, that is rounding of numbers nearest to 100. Okay, to round off number nearest to 100, to round off numbers nearest to 100, we should check the digit at once. We should check the digit at the tens place first. We should check the digit at tens place first to round up numbers nearest to 100. If the digit is 4 or less than 4, if the digit is 4 or less than 4, change both the tens and ones digit to 0. Change the both digit at ones and tens place to 0, keeping the digit at 100 place unchanged. You don't have to change the digit at the 100th place. To round up number nearest to 100, we should check the digit at the tens place first. If the digit in a tens place is equals to 4 or less than 4, change both means the tens and ones place to 0, keeping the digit at the 100th place unchanged. For example, to round off 134 to the nearest to 100, first we have to see the tens place, right? We have to check the tens place first. So here in the number 134, in tens place there is 3, that means less than 4. So you have to change the tens and ones into 0, keeping the digit the 100th place unchanged, keeping the digit at 100th place. You don't have to change the digit at the 100th. You have to change the digit at ones and tens to 0. You have to change, or you have to round up the digit at ones and tens place to 0. That means as the digit at tens place is less than 4, so 134 is rounded off 100. 134 is rounded off to 100. In case the digit at the tens place is 5, 6, 7 and 8 and 9. If the digit at the tens place is 5, 4, 7, 6 or 9, then add 1 to the digit at 100th place. You have to add 1 to the 100th place and change the digit at the tens and ones place to 0. You have to change the both digits in tens and ones to 0. And you have to add 1 to 100th place. If the digit at tens place is between or 10th place is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, then you have to add 1 to 100th place and you have to change the you have to change the digit in 100 and ones place to 0. For example, to round off numbers 260 to the nearest to 100. If you are rounding up numbers 260 to the nearest to 100, as the digit to the tens place, as the digit in the tens place is greater than 5, so it is rounded off to 300. It is rounded up to 300 because the digit at the tens place is greater than 5. So you have to add 1 to 100 digits, and you have to round it. You have to change the number in ones and tens place to 0, and you have to add 1 to the digit at 100 place, right? So as the digit at the tens place is greater than 5 in number 260, so 260 is rounded up to 300 while rounding up the numbers 260 to the nearest to the hundreds. Now this is question time, so you have to copy the question from the screen. I'll give you 2 minutes for this. Okay, now we are going to see one video clip of rounding up numbers nearest to 100.
We use rounding when we want to estimate. Rounding gives us numbers that are easy to use, like 100, 200, 300, and so on. Rounding numbers help you solve everyday problems where you don't need an exact answer. That's called an estimate. Rounding might look hard, but hey, guess what? If you know how to put numbers in order and can skip count by hundreds, you can learn to round any number to the nearest hundred with ease. Here are some useful things to know. You can show any number on a number line. Numbers to the right have a greater value than numbers to the left. The nearest hundred on either side of our number is a useful benchmark. And the midpoint is the number that is halfway between two benchmarks. If the number you want to round is less than the midpoint, round down. If the number you are rounding is at the midpoint or greater than the midpoint, round up. You can round any number to the nearest hundred in 4 easy steps. Let's see how. Let's round 527 to the nearest hundred. Step 1. Figure out what benchmarks to use. To the nearest hundred tells you to choose the hundred before 527 and the hundred after 527. 500 is the lower benchmark, and 600 is the higher benchmark. Now you can set up a number line and mark your benchmarks. Step 2. Find the midpoint between 500 and 600. That's the number that is exactly in the middle. The midpoint is 550. Step 3. Now locate 527 on the number line. 527 is less than 550. So now you are ready for step 4. You can round. 527 is closer to 500 than to 600. So, to the nearest hundred, 527 rounds down to 500. Sometimes the nearest hundred is 0. Let's round 49 to the nearest hundred. The benchmarks are 0 and 100. The midpoint is 50. 49 is less than 50. So, to the nearest hundred, 49 rounds down to 0. And sometimes the nearest hundred is 1,000. Look at 975. The benchmarks are 900 and 1,000. The midpoint is 950. 975 is greater than 950. So, to the nearest hundred, 975 rounds to 1,000.